Aloha and welcome to part 2 of our talk story with Jahmeela. Quite an amazing woman. We did add her mailing address so that if anybody wants to help her out by donating things such as, I think she said she needs gloves, blankets, socks, that she helps out with, with the homeless people and stuff. But any donations I'm sure she would appreciate. So that's why we added her mailing address. And quite an amazing lady. We talk a little bit about, on this episode, we talk about getting over COVID, which she ended up getting, and then also about her future plans, about what she's got coming up as far as races, including one, I'm not sure if we mentioned it, but there's one race that she has coming up where she's going to jump out of a plane. So please enjoy the episode.
This is true. This is so true. This is so true. I did a 50K race, and I actually said going into next year I'm gonna do more short. I'm gonna mix it up. I'm not gonna just do 100. I'm gonna do like 50K, 50 miles, 100. Mix it up, 40 miles, some stuff like that. Yeah. And what I've noticed that in the shorter races, mentally, because I know I'm not gonna be out there long, I go faster.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even in 100-mile, you can do the same thing. What it is that even gives you a little bit of recovery time and then still keep going. Yeah. So it'll make your 100-mile time go down.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's essentially, what do they call it? Speed work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though it's when you say speed work, most people think, oh, well, you run repeats of like a quarter mile. Well, right. No, this happens to be 25-mile repeats.
That's right. 25 miles speed. Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. That's so true. That's true. Yeah.
Didn't you? Oh, and an old friend of ours, Frank Shorter. He was the Olympic champion and stuff. Frank used to come out for the Hilo race, not the Hilo race, the Kona marathon and stuff.
Marathon,
And Frank always said, in hills there are speed work. In other words, if you're running hills, that's your speed work. So you can get faster by running hills, which around here
I believe that.
We mostly have hills and stuff. Now, didn't you do 100K Saturday also?
Well, this is the thing. Like I told you, I don't believe in bad luck. I just believe in things happen. Okay, in Virginia, and he put it in the email, but I read it in the email, but I was like, nah, this doesn't make any sense. It's called Dismal Swamp. In Virginia, there are two.
Oh.
Two. One's on the right side, one's on the left side. The GPS, and that's what he was saying in the email, the GPS is going to take you to the right side. The race is on the left side. So of course, I'm following the GPS because I haven't been there before. It took me to the Dismal Swamp on the right side. So I'm waiting around like, okay, well, maybe, okay, I'm checking the GPS. So I'm in the right spot. Where are the cones? Nobody's here for the race, something, I'm like, okay, So, of course, he's not answering the email because he's doing the race. The race director was actually running the race. So he wasn't answering any of my emails. So I was getting frustrated. I'm like, okay. So I called my daughter. I said, I think I'm going to come home or run myself or something. I said, because nobody's here and I'm in the right place. And she's like, well, Mom, cut your phone off and do it again to see if it gives you any different, directions. So I did that. Boom. It kept saying I'm here. So I parked my car and I just started walking around. And I ran into a couple that was fishing. They said, no, it's two. She's like, if they're not here, they're on the other side, which was, you can either swim across the lake, which of course I can't do in my car, or you could drive around, which was 45 minutes. So I wind up driving around to the other spot. Of course, they were there. So I was like, I've been sitting on the other side. And he was like, well, it's up to you. Do you still want to run? And I was like, And by this time, you know, I had missed like 2.5 hours that they had already been running.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna run. So by the time I got what do I say, got my race number, you know, got myself going, it was 3 hours into the race that they had already been running.
You gave
So I was
everybody a
like, well,
3-hour start.
yeah, I did. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to run because it was a nice surface. But again, if you're not used to running straight asphalt
Yeah,
for, you know, 15 hours, that's gonna tear your legs up.
yeah.
So, you know, and I've been running trails for the whole pandemic. You know, I haven't had any marathons or nothing, you know what I mean? And which I normally do. I switch it up so I never get stuck on one surface. But just the pandemic, I've been on the trails. Every race that they actually had has happened to be in the trails.
Yeah.
So I was running. And after about 6 hours, my legs were done. They really was, you know. And I hadn't driven in a long time. Not because the drive was 9 hours. So
Oh,
you figure
wow.
I drove nine. Yeah, I had drove 9 hours, wait for the race to start, and then bust out, try to run hard for 6 hours. I was done, you know. So I wind up getting to 41 miles, and he was like, "No, you drove so far. Keep going." I was not about to make him wait out there for just me. I wasn't
Yeah.
gonna do that. So I
Yeah.
told him, I said, "I appreciate it." I said, "No, I'm good." I was like, "I'll just take what, you know, the miles I got, and because I still had to drive home, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?" I
Yeah.
was like, mm-mm. And he was, I just, you know, and everybody was like, "You should have kept going." I'm not about to make him sit out there and wait on just me, because everybody else, like I said, they had a 3-hour start, so
Yeah.
they were finishing up. They were on their last loop. They would have been finishing, and he'd have had to wait like probably 3.5 hours for just me.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
just like I said, I did 20 more miles. I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I tell race directors ahead of time, don't wait for me. Don't worry about it. You know,
Yeah.
if I'm gonna finish, I'll finish by myself. I'm used to doing that and
Yep.
stuff. And
Yep.
I got special friends here. They've waited for me in the rain to,
Yeah.
do the hands arch, so that I could run into the finish line.
Finish. Right.
And it's like,
Yeah.
it's
I mean, it was good. It was good because like I said, I knew I had a race this weekend coming up, and I was like, okay, I'm fine. You know, I'm fine with it. I was like, I still did technically an ultra,
yeah.
and so when it's a time race, it's not like you DNF. You know what I mean? So he put the miles down, and I'm good. Mm-mm.
Could you even guess on how many hundreds you've done?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, okay, if I went by ultra sign up, and which everything's not on ultra sign up because there were different.
There was no ultra sign up back in the day.
Exactly, and that's what I tell people, because they're like, "How you don't know?" I would really have to do my research and say, Google my name, add up the hundreds, add this up, and some of the races I ran, the 100 milers, they don't even have anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not even having those. But anyways, I would probably say anywhere between 95 to 120.
Yeah.
I would say.
Just amazing. Yeah, people ask me about, well, how many marathons have you done? And it's kind of like, I don't know. I stopped counting at about 160 or 170 or something. It's like,
I don't count. Some people be like, I'm on marathon 544.
yeah.
I'm not doing all of that.
Yeah.
I don't have to be that precise. And again, as I said, I'm not that person, and nothing against people who keep record like that. I think that's fantastic.
That's great. That's great.
Yo, I literally just started keeping my buckles. I would donate my buckles. I really did, because my kids would take them to school. My mom did it. And so, another kid might ask for them. I'm like, yeah, let them have it. I get off on the feeling of the race. I don't have to have the memorabilia. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't need T-shirts after a while. I don't need any more medals after a while. Like I tell people, I'm a recreational runner. I know there's no $100,000 check waiting for me at the end of the race. I am just elated to finish. You know what I mean? That's me. that's where I get my joy from, and being able to get to the race safe, get back home to my kids safe. I'm happy as a lark if all of that happens. I really am, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Oh, I've given my medals away to medals of honor, which they give them
Oh,
to, families where the soldier has died in battle and stuff.
oh
And so
wow.
they give the medal to them, because it's like, and like you, I have friends that they have altars to themselves, and it's like, more power to you. That's great if you need
Exactly.
that.
Right.
That's
Right.
awesome that you have that many medals and everything. It's like, just not my gig. You're a race director, aren't you?
I am. Yay.
Tell
And
us
this
about your
year,
races.
okay, my race is called the Underground Circus 50 and then the Underground Circus 100. During the spring, in May, and what I did is every year Mother's Day, that way my kids are always with me and I can still give to other runners, because I race so much I don't get enough time to volunteer, which I appreciate every single volunteer.
Oh, yeah.
So my idea was, I'll give a race. I said, I'll make it so affordable that anybody can come. Even if somebody sent me an email, and I'm saying that, if somebody sent me an email and said, hey, I want to run, I can't afford it, I don't care, come. That's my way of volunteering and giving back to runners. It really is. I said, I'm going to have that race every year, if it's one person or 50 people. I want to be, and what I do at that race is, I'm your crew person. I make sure I have enough volunteers that whatever you say you want, we're getting it. Like,
Oh, wow.
I cracked up. My one race, one runner, I guess he was like, he's not really going to. I was like, okay, so what do you guys want? They was like, we want Subway. I said, okay, I'll be right back. Went and got them Subway, came back, and they looking like, what? I told you, I'm here for you. You're going to get special treatment today. So then, let's see, Susan Donnelly, I love her. She's like, because she's vegan, so I didn't know what to get for her. And I was like, tell me. So everything she was telling me to go to Publix to get, I went and got, made sure she asked. She was like, she was running with a plain waffle in her hand. Just eat waffle. So I make it where whatever they want, they get. They do. Like this one coming up, the winter time is kind of crazy in Atlanta. Sometimes it rains really bad. Sometimes it's really cold. And then sometimes it might be 90 degrees,
Yeah.
So the winter time, I only will do, I only do 50 miles, from 10 mile up to 50 miles. And my times are so long that even if you walk, you should be able to finish that race.
Oh,
and
that's
because
awesome.
I'm the race director, I can actually change the time. I can change the time saying, okay, it might be advertised 30 hours, but if you know you're going to need 40 hours, I just go back in, change it, boom, 40 hours. You got an official finish. You know what I mean? So like I said, that's what I wanted to do. That was my way of saying, boom, if nothing else on this calendar this year, you got this race that you can officially say you ran 100 miles. If you email me and say that you need 45 hours to finish 100 miles, I'm going to give you that 45 hours.
Oh,
and
that's
you can
awesome.
have one official, because I couldn't think of a way of really, really saying I'm giving back to runners other than them having a race that they know that no matter what, they're going to finish.
Yeah.
You can have a pacer starting at mile 2 if you need a pacer. It's official. Some races say you got to wait till mile 30 but some people can't get to that. Some people need that pacer from the very beginning, telling them they do it. You know what I mean? And like I tell people, I think if you can run 10 miles, you can run 100.
Yeah.
You just need the time. Some people, it's going to take them 2 days to run 100 miles. Yeah. Some people can do it in 24 hours. Some people can do it in 30 hours. But I always wanted it where somewhere on that calendar, if you want to check off on your list that you officially ran 100 miles and you got a buckle, boom, here you go.
Well, how appropriate on Mother's Day, too. You're being the mother. You're mothering.
Yeah. I'm mothering them. I'm taking care of them, whatever they need to do. And what I have liked is every single person that's came to the race, let's say they say, oh, I only can run 20 miles. some kind of way, I'm gonna pull another 20 miles out you.
Yeah.
And I have. I've always been made. Okay, come on, we're gonna walk together. We're gonna get this done. Okay, look, my daughter's over here. Okay, my son's coming. He's gonna walk with you. The whole family comes together on that day, and we make sure those runners get everything they need. Everything they need.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. You know, when I first saw some of that stuff that you were doing with them, it's like, how can you possibly do that for everybody in a race? But if you want to,
Well,
you can do it.
With my kids and the volunteers, you know, and like I told, and this year it was tough getting volunteers, you know, because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
But I got 22 runners coming still confirmed, and I was like, no, I want every single runner to have somebody dedicated to them. So, and I did. I managed to get enough volunteers that every runner is going to have somebody that's dedicated to do whatever they need. If they say they need, you know, batteries, all right, keep going. We'll have your batteries.
Yeah.
If they say they need, you know, earphones, keep running. We're going to go to CVS, get some earphones. Whatever they need, this is going to be their race that no matter what they needed, they were able to finish their race because we gave them everything they needed, everything.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so nice of you to do that. And you don't have to do that. This is something you're doing because you want to do it.
Exactly, because I want to do it. I want to do it.
Yeah,
you know, I've been treated so well at races that, you know, you just want to give back. At least I do. You just want to give back, you know.
Yeah, and the great thing about most of the races that we do is they don't care if you're Camille Herron or if you're Courtney DeWalter. You're actually important to them, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's funny how small stuff like that goes a long way. There's a lawyer in Atlanta, Dave Daggett, and Dave is a great community guy, and he has done multiple Ironmans and stuff. And I did one small favor for him and his family years ago. It's like, we have these Ironman pins, and I gave pins for his kids. And Dave shyly comes back into the office and goes, you know, my wife would really like one of those pins.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, no worries, let me get you a pin. And it's just a small little thing. And he kind of took that whole principle of doing one small thing for somebody in a day and took it back to Atlanta. And he has a whole organization where he just goes to churches, he goes everywhere. And I always think it's just a little, it's a ripple. It's a little ripple in a pond, you know, or in the ocean. But you'd be surprised how far stuff like that can carry. I mean, holy smoke, especially now with all the nutsy stuff that's happening. Now, did you get COVID? I can't remember. I think you did.
Back in May. And see, when I got it, they were just releasing what the symptoms were. So I didn't even know that I had it. I just knew I was sick. You know how you kind of know your body and something ain't right, but you don't really know what it is. Now, and I don't get sick, you know, I realistically, I'm one of those people, I don't get sick. When they say go get the flu shot, I get the flu shot. When they say, you know, put an extra layer on or what, I do all of that stuff. So I rarely get sick. So the way it started was, and like I said, because of the environment I work in, I figured that I've probably been exposed to so much stuff anyway that, you know, immune system is good. So anyways, I thought I had got something at work. Because, you know, working at Waffle House, you know, they come in, they throw up and they be drunk or whatever, you know, so whatever. So anyways, when I got home from work, I was extremely dizzy, you know. And I was like, I said, maybe you know, do I need some new glasses? My contacts, you know, what's up? You know, I said, maybe I was just up too long, you know. So I tried to take a nap. Trying to take a nap, I was like, what's wrong? Am I going through hot flashes? Why can't I breathe? You know, I didn't know what was going on. So anyways, I went in, my daughter, I said, listen, I said, Mommy's not feeling good. I said, just kind of come check on me in a few hours just to make sure, you know. So I propped my pillows up and I was trying to sleep. Every time I would lay on my back, it felt like I was losing my breath. And I was like, okay, now I've had asthma when I was little, but I haven't had an asthma attack since I was 5 years old. So, you know, I was like, okay, that can't be it. What's going on? So then by the next day, I was having diarrhea. And I'm like, okay, what is going on? Did I eat something bad or this? You know, and I was I was extremely hot, but I was cold at the same time.
Oh,
So
wow.
my sister's a nurse. So I called my sister and I said, I said, Aunt, something's wrong with me. I don't know what's going on. And she's like, she said, well, Atlanta's been having a lot of COVID outbreaks. She's like, do you think? I said, nah, I haven't been around anybody that have COVID. I've been wearing
Yeah.
my mask like you told me. I was like, I don't have that. I said, I don't have a fever or anything. She said, it's not just a fever. And so she started telling me some of the
Some
symptoms.
symptoms.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
Uh-oh.
maybe. So I was like, okay, let me go get a test. But at this time, you couldn't just drive up and get a test. You had to
Yeah.
schedule the test.
Yeah.
So I called to get a test, and I had a test scheduled for 2 days later. All right. So in the meantime, again, not knowing, I'm like, okay, should I go to work or should I don't know. So, but once my sister put that in my head that I might have COVID, I called my job. I said, listen, I'm gonna stay home because I don't know if I have COVID or not. And
Yeah.
my supervisor was like, well, do you have a fever? I was like, no, I don't have a fever. He was like, no, you probably okay. Come on and come in. I was like, you sure? He's like, yeah, come on and come in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go to work. So, but while I was at work, me standing up, I was having this insane headache. I was so
Yeah.
dizzy. I was like, I can't stay. I said, I got to go home. I said, I knew something was wrong. I just
Yeah.
didn't know what. So I called my daughter. I said, listen, follow me home because I don't feel comfortable driving. I said, I'm getting real bad headaches and I keep getting dizzy. And she was like, okay, no. She said, Ma, I'll just come get you. And she brought her best friend. So he drove my car and, she drove me home.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I was in the bed, went to take the test. And at the time, they were swabbing your mouth. Okay. They weren't
Oh,
doing the
they
nose
weren't
swab.
doing the nose. Yeah.
So my test came back negative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But I don't have COVID. Well, what's wrong with me? All right. So I'm like, okay, I don't have COVID. I called my job. I said, well, the test came negative. I said, but I'm still not coming in. I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Now this is day 6.
Yeah.
I called and scheduled again. I said, something's not right.
I'm not all
But then
right.
I got the fever.
Yeah.
I was cold. Couldn't taste nothing. All
Oh
right. Now,
no.
mind you, these days are going by. I'm just drinking water just because I know I should drink water.
Yeah.
I wasn't hungry or anything. So my daughter's like, Ma, you got to eat something. So I was just drinking smoothies. I was
Yeah.
not eating any solid food. This is going on day 8. Day 8. Go back in, have the test. It finally came back positive. The lady's like, you got to quarantine. You need to bring the kids in, whoever else is in your household. I said, well, I haven't been to work except for one time. When I went, I only stayed 2.5 hours. These were the people that was there when I was there. I gave her the names, da da da.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, we'll get in contact with them. We'll call the store, blah, blah. Went back home, down 33 days. I was down for 33 days.
Holy smokes. I didn't realize it was that
33
long.
days.
Wow.
33 days. Literally, the worst part of it was like my body hurt so bad. And I could just literally be sitting here. My body was like, is there somebody twisting me up in a pretzel?
Oh,
That's how
wow.
bad my body was hurting. And like I said, I wasn't doing anything, but I guess the COVID makes your body hurt like that.
Yeah.
I hadn't did anything before I got sick, okay? It wasn't like I had just came from a race, none of that.
Yeah.
Like all I was doing was just working, waitressing. The headaches was the worst for me.
Yeah.
It felt like somebody was just squeezing my head constantly. The headaches were terrible. Like I said, my body was hurting. For the first 2 weeks, I slept like this. Because if I laid on my back, I felt like I was going to die. I was trying to catch my breath.
Yeah.
You really, I don't even know how to explain it, but I'm serious. You fighting for your life. You are, because you can't breathe. You can't breathe. And you immediately feel it as soon as you leave it. You're like, okay, yeah. You know what I mean? It's like that. So that was the.
Oops. We have. Oh. Hello.
Thing, the headaches, feel it.
Looks.
Like 2 days. That is stupid. you're sleeping. You cannot get enough sleep. You just sleeping. You're tired. You don't want it. That was bad. It was really, really bad. And like I said, ever since that, I mean, I know a lot of people think it's fake, was put out there or whatever. I said, I don't care if it was put out there, but I promise you, that virus is for real. Yeah. I had never been sick like that. I had never been sick like that in my life. I said, you would check my records. I've never been sick like that, to the point where I felt like I was fighting for my life. Yeah, my daughter kept coming in, checking on me.
Almost sounds like drowning, you know, like you just.
That's how I'm serious. You really are like trying to catch your breath, and you're not even doing anything. It's not like you moving around and you trying to catch your breath. So I know, like when they say it's a layer on your lungs or whatever, it really must be, because you cannot breathe. You cannot breathe. You can't breathe.
Do you
but I was sick for 33 documented days.
Do you know Sean Blanton? You know, the run bum?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the same thing happened to him when he got COVID too, where that was the thing, that despite you guys are super athletes. I mean, you are super healthy. And like you said, you never get sick. You're around tons of people and still you don't get sick. And, thank God that you're as strong as you are. Thank God that Sean is as strong as he is, to be able to experience this, and also to tell people that no, this is real. This isn't something you just read about in the newspapers, which some people may be lucky enough to, that's their experience, is just to read about it or see it on the news or whatever. But
right,
man, oh man, that I saw that and it was like, holy smokes, I didn't realize it was that long, over a month. Holy shit.
Yeah. And it took me, once I got, because I had to get a retest to show that I was negative before I could go back to work. That's why I counted all the way up to the point where they said I was negative, which made it 33 documented days. Okay. I went from being able to run 100-mile races, 200, 300-mile, to lucky if I could walk a mile.
Wow.
I'm serious. I journaled it. I was like, man, I can't even, what is wrong with me? And this is after they said I was negative.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had to rebuild myself back to running. That's why I value it so much now. I really do. I could not go a mile without being out of breath.
Oh,
My daughter was like, Mom, I was like, I'm serious. I can't do it. I can't do it. I mean, I was like, it's scary, because you're like, okay, did something happen permanently that I can't get back to me? It took me a while. It took me, I want to say about a good 3 months before I was able to run like about 10 miles. And each time it was just slowly getting back. That's why I said this year itself, I'm still not back to the running me that I was before COVID. I'm still not. I know I'm not. Because I get winded at points that normally, running a 50-miler, I'm about to die. When it's like, no.
And it's something you never really even thought about it. Like, I'm going to go out and do a race, and maybe it's a 50K. Oh, it's only a 50K. So I'm only going to run 30 miles and stuff. And you don't think about your breath and, things going, south and stuff. Well, thank God, so many people love you, and so many people, support you. And it's not because of anything that you give them other than yourself, which is the best gift in the world, I think.
I always, how I think, and I'm glad I've gotten to this maturity, as I constantly keep trying to put myself in somebody else's shoes who's not doing as well, and say, what would you want somebody to do if that was you? And I think, and like I said, I'm just a regular person, so I can't cure everything that's going on in the world. But for me, my main passion that I'm gonna keep on working on until the day I leave this earth is anything helping kids and homeless people. And the reason I think I gravitate towards homeless people so much is because when I first got my divorce here in Atlanta, me and my son was in my car. Okay. I left there with just my car because I was not, I wasn't fighting none of that.
Yeah.
So people were looking at me like as if, okay, well, what is this, lady doing with this baby in the car?
Yeah.
Like as if, she can't do anything, or she might be on drugs or that. That wasn't the case. So that's why I always tell people, don't look at somebody on the outside and think that that's what their situation is. You don't know why they are homeless. It could be mental issues. It could be the fact that, they lost their job. Even most working Americans don't have a whole year worth of savings set aside, So if you lost that income coming in, you can easily lose your home. You can easily get backed up on bills. It happens. So don't always just assume that this person is out there not trying to do better for themselves. That might be the best they can do at this moment. So if it's not hurting you to give them $1 or $2, give them $1. So what? You take $1 and blow it on French fries. So if they take $1 and get a peace of moment by just having a beer, so what?
Yeah.
I don't care what they do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't always assume that they're all on drugs. I don't look at people like that because, like I said, I was there and I wasn't on drugs. I was just trying to make it until I was able to find a job, take care of my child, get a house, things like that. So,
I had volunteer. I had a couple of volunteers that came into the Ironman office years ago, and they kind of looked like homeless people. They looked like street people. They'd come in to volunteer for security. And the first year, I kind of went, oh, okay, if you're going to want to help security. I found out later they lived the lifestyle that they wanted to. They had actually raised like $5 million for cancer. They owned 2 houses and a condo on the island, and they just didn't care what people thought about them or how they looked. That was the way that they live. You're so right. I mean, you just can't assume, make, assumptions about people that they're in your situation because you think that's what happened.
What they want. Yeah, that's not always the case. It's just so easy to give people the benefit of the doubt. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. Just like you want somebody to give you the benefit of the doubt, give them the benefit of a doubt. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. What does it hurt you?
Yeah.
You interacting with these people for 2 minutes. What does it hurt you to be kind and keep it moving? That's it. Just be kind. It's okay.
The best sign I ever saw, this was in Boulder in Colorado, coming off the freeway. There was a guy, with a sign that said spare change. And he had it basically, he said, spare change so I can buy beer. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
There
you go. Okay. I don't have a problem with it. There you go.
No, that's amazing that you have a house, you have your own house, you're raising 5 kids, you do all these races and you do so much for your community. Now I have other friends too that are worried now because it's wintertime, and the people that are living on the street and stuff, it's getting tougher and tougher for them. As they.
I had that concern too, and I was hesitant to do it, but I went on and did it. Because of COVID, my work schedule has been cut short. So normally the homeless people that come and stay in the restaurant, they can't do it anymore because we can't have anybody sitting down. So like I said, my work schedule's been cut. So I'm not there as I usually be to just say, come on in anyway,
Yeah.
So they've been sitting outside. So last week I went to work, and 2 of them that normally come all the time one didn't have any gloves, okay, and he had on flip flops. I'm like, it's cold out here. I was like, where are your socks? And he was like, Miss J, I don't have any. And I was like, and I was looking in my car, and all I had, and he's a really tall man, right?
Yeah.
And all I had was some little footies, and I was like, they're not gonna fit. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and I just did it. Just, you know how sometimes you just do it. And I was
Yeah.
like, can y'all please help me get some socks and gloves for people? I was just amazed at how many people sent stuff to me.
Oh, wow.
So, oh yeah, and I mean, me, my daughter, her best friend, and my son, because we know where they stay. It's a section of Atlanta where most of them are living in tents and, you know, sleeping under the bridges and things like that. I'm gonna take all my socks, my blankets. People sent me socks, blankets, coats. They sent me gloves. You know, the hand warmer things that we use in the races to keep us warm.
Yeah.
They sent me those. I'm going down there, and I said, whoever let me video them, I'm gonna video it, you know, because I'm gonna ask, because I don't like. It's that fine line of showing what you're doing versus kind of where you're shaming somebody at their lowest. I'm not trying to do that.
You don't want to.
So if they want, if they want to, exploit. If they want to be on camera, I'm gonna let them be on camera and hopefully say a few words or whatever. But like I said, I know what I'm doing with this stuff. You know what I mean? And so we're gonna go down there, and luckily it didn't rain today, so we're going tonight actually.
Oh, wow.
And we're going tonight because I was out of town. I had already told my daughter. I said, look, as soon as I get back in town, we're going to pass this stuff. I want these people to have it because it's gonna get cold. So, anyways.
That's my sister keep calling.
So anyways, we're gonna go pass it out, and whoever wants to be on camera, you know, like I said, I just want people to see that it's the regular people just like us. They really are. They just, their situation happen to be a little different. That's all.
Yeah.
It can
we're
happen
this
to
close
any
away.
of us.
We're this close away.
This
Doesn't matter what you're
always.
doing. Yeah. Do you have a?
I mean, anything can happen.
Do you have an address or anything that people, if they wanted to, because usually I ask people, well, give me a nonprofit that you want people to, you know, contribute to. Do you have an address that you want people to send stuff to?
My address is 1460 Lavender, just like the color, LAVENDER Drive, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
Okay, I will add that to the information, you know, on the podcast and stuff, and we'll see what we can do and stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're lucky
Thank
here
you.
in Hawaii. We don't get too many cold spells, so our homeless, you know, can manage pretty well. But I still see it where the county doesn't do enough, you know, for those people. And some people do think, well, it's just, I don't want to use too political terms, but it's just a handout and stuff like that. And it's not.
Yeah, and it's not. It's not. That's not, like I said, that's not always the case. It's really not. It's not as cut and dry as people think it is. Now, what happened here in Atlanta, what made it so bad is we've had a lot of people move to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so, and I get it. I get both sides of the coin. I do. You don't want your $1 million house with a bunch of homeless people in front of it. I get that. I do.
Yeah.
But don't tear down the homeless, what do I want to call it? Not building, but the shelter. It was a homeless shelter. Our main homeless shelter, they tore it down, built up brand new condos. So our main homeless population went under the bridges. That's what happened. I mean, and you see it because these people were not there, but they used to be in the shelter. And the shelter had its little area, and everybody was over there. It was in one spot. But like I said, we have people have moved here, and you know, different committees or whatever, and I get it. Where the homeless shelter was a prime location. I totally get it.
Yeah.
And they built the aquarium, the Civil Rights Museum. They built up downtown, and so they took that homeless shelter, and it was an eyesore.
Yeah.
So, but if you're going to do that, give the people a place to go.
Yeah.
Which they didn't. So now they're just living all up underneath the bridges. They're so
Yeah.
used to going to that area. They're still in that area. They just don't have a building anymore. So that's why I was like, they need blankets. They need, socks, gloves. Do you know how great it feels? Remember how when we used to go to school, first day of school, and you had your brand new clothes? You know
Yeah.
how good you felt when just something as simple as a new outfit that changes a person.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, it don't have to be brand new, but even if they could take off those dirty clothes and put on another clean outfit, that just does something for a person. They'll feel better actually walking in a place, asking for a job. Nobody wants to go ask for a job and your clothes are all dirty. So if they got at least a nice pair of clothes, that makes them feel better about going and asking for a job. Can I sweep in front of the store? Can I use the bathroom? So that's why I was like, whoever I can help, that's what I want to do. That's my thing. That's my thing.
I'm looking forward to seeing the videos that you can do and stuff. I get criticized sometimes because my motto is that government was created to help people.
Me too.
And people are saying, well, you're a socialist. And I go, if that's what you think socialism is, that's fine.
And that's what I am. That's what I am then.
I paid taxes for a school district when I lived in Colorado that I wasn't near because of the way they cut up the counties and stuff in Colorado.
Right.
So you're paying your property taxes and you're living here, but the school's way over there. And I went, I don't care. I'm paying taxes so that kids can go to school. What's the difference?
And that's the part that's hard right now during the pandemic, because everything's so shut down and closed. The kids that normally would get to eat at school, and they don't have it, because you don't have to have an address per se to go to school, but you do have to have an address to get any type of assistance. So the people that are out there, they're not even getting assistance because they don't have an address. So, you know what I mean? I'm like, okay, we have all this money, we have all this stuff that we're saying is supposed to help people, but you're making it hard for the people that really, really need it to get it. So,
and it's not like business is necessarily going to step up and fill in those areas. Back in the day in Chicago, and then when I was in Minnesota, I worked with Black Panthers, and they started up the early lunch, breakfast for kids and stuff. And finally, the government kind of went, hey, that's probably a good idea. Maybe it's something we should do to supply kids with, food so they can come to school. And you're right, now that the kids are now staying at home, and many kids do. We have a guy here on the island who's helped raise money so that kids can get iPads, so they can get computers if they are going to be doing virtual. A lot of people can't afford that. Shoot,
That's what I'm saying. Some things that people take for granted and think that just everybody has. Not everybody has an iPhone. Not everybody has just a internet. They don't have that. Not everybody's walking around with a laptop. Okay, all right, fine. The school gave them a laptop, but who's paying for the internet? So don't. It's not as cut and dry as people think when they're like, well, why can't they do this? They said with this pandemic, they really are going to have to figure out a way to treat people. I really think, how we have a war and the soldiers come back and they go through post-traumatic stress. This pandemic, between the doctors and the nurses, and not to be all political, but and this is just my feelings. It's between the doctors and nurses, they're going to need some treatment. Imagine just people dying on you and they're alone. That's so hard. Normally you can go talk to the family. The family can come see their last days. These people are dying alone. That's hard. Then you have these kids who are losing all kinds of social interaction because they're just home with their parents. And God forbid if that household is not even a good household and these kids are stuck in a house.
Yeah, yeah.
We're going to need so much counseling and so much help. I just believe that. I believe that.
Yeah,
And I
so
believe the government's going to have to figure out a way to be more giving and help people.
yeah, we're not just going to recover medically from COVID. You know, it's great that the vaccines are starting to come out, but we're going to have a recovery program for people's mental health too.
I think so.
I think every mother that I see, I was out doing a little run yesterday, and I ran into a family who they knew me because of stuff that I do. And we talked story a little bit. And I just looked at the mom and I said, thank you. Thank you for taking your kids and schooling them at home. And she was grateful. She went, thanks for saying that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, it's not going to be, you know, like your recovery after COVID and stuff. It's not going to be, oh, I feel great today.
No, it's not. It's a process. I was telling one of my friends the other day, me and Samantha, we were talking, and I told her, I said, you can call this being a bad mom or whatever, but I've been seeing my son so stressed out that I've told them, I said, listen, because this is what they're doing in Atlanta. They go to school Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday they're off. Then they go to school Thursday and Friday. Do you know how disruptive that is to a kid's schedule? You get me started, you take me out, then you got to get me started again. That's so frustrating. So I tell my kids, because when they're doing homeschooling, of course I'm right there, so I'm looking. If they look like they're stressing, log off. You're sick. Log off. I'm not going to have my child so stressed because they're used to their teacher actually instructing them, telling them how to do things. And again, I'm from a different generation. So the way I learned how to do math is different than the way that they're teaching my son. So I'm trying to show them how to do something. I add up. You know, they don't even show their work. I'm like, how can you know if you did it right or wrong when you don't show the work? They don't have to show their work. I'm like, I need you to write it down. Where's the work? So to avoid all that extra stress and me, okay, come on, you got to get straight A's. My thing is, please just pass. Just pass. I just need you to pass.
Yeah.
So when I took that straight A stringent off of him, he's been so much happier.
Oh, that's smart.
He gets his little breaks. Some days we come to the park for him to do school. Some days we'll go to a restaurant for him to do school. Some days we sit in my car to do school. He can't just be in his room on that computer. It drives him. He can't. He needs to do something. We'll go for a walk sometimes because I got this little portable Wi-Fi device. So when he's walking with me, he still can log, be logged into school. Yeah. So I had to get real creative. I did because it was ruining my child. And he's so used to getting all A's. So for him to get a grade back that was a C, that really did something to his self-esteem. He was like, I don't understand this, So I took all that pressure off him. I said, just pass. So now he's starting to get used to doing the computer, and they're not used to just being in this screen like that unless it's a game.
Yeah.
If it's a game, they could do it. But as far as the teacher and them, that's one-on-one because that's how they feel. And that's another thing. I was like, why don't the teachers let the kids talk to each other online so they can know who their classmates are, versus all they see is the teacher and the work. That's it.
Oh, they don't do group meetups with the kids? It's just one-on-one?
No.
Oh, wow.
One-on-one.
Wow.
One-on-one. And
that's
that is
tough.
so tough.
That's
real tough.
Man, oh man. Yeah,
I mean, I've been to different meetings and emails and it's at this point now, and I get it. I get it. The teachers are kind of zoned out. They're tired.
Yeah.
They have these strenuous all the kids need to pass. But when you're doing it online, not every child learns the same way. You always had those special group of children that you can give the work to, go over to these kids, help them a little bit. They're all in one group now. So it's hard to teach that way, So like I said, I get it. Everybody's tired. So I'm like, nope. This year, everybody gets a break. I don't care.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting a
Yeah.
break from me.
Yeah, it's pass fail this year, I think, for all of us. I mean, pretty much. And
Yeah.
I think everybody's
Yeah.
passing, hopefully.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't have to pass these kids, pass them. And then
Yeah.
whatever they didn't learn, next year we're going to have to figure it out. Because I think they're going to have to start over with some kids. I really do.
Yeah.
I think they lost a lot in 1 year.
Billy Barnett, I don't know if you know Billy, but you've seen the book Born to Run, right?
Yeah.
That's Billy actually on the cover of Born to Run. And he's a good friend of mine. And he's a special ed teacher over in Hilo. And he's lucky now because with special ed, he does get in classroom days with them.
Oh, good. Okay.
With special ed kids, it certainly can't be remote, a lot of times and stuff. And the thing that I think most people don't get is, no, you don't realize all kids are special ed.
Yeah,
all
they are.
All adults are special ed.
They're just on different levels. That's all. It's just different levels. It's this degree, that degree, that degree, but it's all the same. Everybody.
Yeah, I've always said, no, look, when somebody said to me, like, I don't kind of like hanging out with their person. They're kind of high maintenance. I just kind of go, I treat everybody like they're high maintenance.
Like they're high maintenance.
They should be treated that way.
I'm like, you're high maintenance. You just don't know it. You really are.
Man, I've taken out, gosh, we're going on an hour and 3/4. I'm going to cut it into 2 sections and stuff. I don't want to take too much more of your time. I want to call you again too, for sure. If you had one race that you could do that you haven't done, is there one race out there? I don't know. Have you done Western States?
No. And I want to do that. I want to do Western States.
Yeah, this would have been
actually, this would have been the year that I could have went into the lottery, but yeah, right. Yeah. I want to do Leadville too. But to be honest with you, if I could only pick one race, I got to say Badwater.
Oh, you've never done Badwater? Oh, wow.
Because you know why? Badwater is going to be my race that takes up about 10 races, to be honest, because of the cost,
Yeah.
And the time I'm going to have to spend. It's mandatory crew. So, you can't ask somebody to crew for you and pay for their stuff. So being in Georgia, that's a huge payout race. I want to check it off my list, though. I do. I want to check it off my list. So, yeah, that's a race I want to do. I want to do that one.
That's a great. I've been lucky enough to know plenty of people that have done it, and stuff.
Yeah.
And Louis Escobar, Louis, who does the Born to Run.
Yeah.
He's a buddy of mine, and he's done it multiple times.
Multiple times.
Paul, a bunch of people, and they all say it's very transformative. You've done a lot of other races, but that one, man, that one is really, really, really special.
That's what everybody keeps saying. That's why I want to do it at least once. I want to do it one time. Do you know Tammy Parliament? Tammy Massey Parliament?
Yeah.
Okay, she was the one who made me really want to do it once she did it. I was like, I want to do that race. I want to do that race. So, yeah.
She won it overall.
I want to check off my list.
She won the race overall. Gosh, there's been a lady who has won the race. One lady has won that race overall. I can't remember who it is now. I was just talking to Barry Siff. Barry.
I thought it was Courtney. Did Courtney win it overall?
No. A friend of mine is in town. Barry Siff's in town, and Barry's done a million things. He's the president of USA Triathlon and stuff, but super nice guy. And we were chatting about this yesterday after, talking story and everything. I can't remember her name, but there's a goal to win it overall.
No, my goodness. That's a huge goal. But, look, in this day and age, why not? Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah.
Why not? Why not? I do, but that would be a dream of mine to outright win 100-mile race.
Yeah, yeah.
Now I've won ultras before, but to win a 100-mile race, that would be good. Even if I got top 3 in 100-mile, not just any 100-mile, I would want it to be like a tough one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a tough one. So
Yeah.
that would solidify my career. That buckle I would keep.
Yeah, not like, I mean, Tunnel Hill is an easy one, so that's not.
Yeah, and that I hate to say that 100 is an easy. That sounds like but it is. Yeah, it's fast, so that's not really. No, if you're not having to be sliding down mountains and pulling things and trying to twist and turn and look out for that bear and insane heat, then it's an easy one. No, I like the ones where it's like, have you ever did Pony Express?
No, I've been tempted to try it.
I signed up for that one this year because I heard that one's kind of tough.
Yeah.
Because they said it's all out in the boondocks and gotta have a crew. So I got my crew lined up. My daughter and my son is gonna crew me and drive alongside because they said it's so desolate out there. So
it's the old Pony Express trail. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to try 2021. I said I'm not doing anything that I haven't ran already. I want to try a lot of hard races. I just want to, I just want to try them. Just try them. And a lot of people are scared to try the hard races, but I want the hard races.
And people don't understand that because you say, well, I'm going to do this 50K. And that should be easy for you. No, you don't understand. This 50K is hard.
Hard, right. It is because you got to run faster, The time is shorter. So, and I don't like to say this either. In 100, you got 32 hours. You can do a lot in 32 hours. You can mess up and then still finish. In a 50K, if they say the cutoff is 6 hours or 7 hours, you don't have time to mess up. You got to be booking it and getting it done, So to me, that's a little harder. Same thing about a marathon. If they say, okay, the cutoff is 6 hours, 7 hours, you got to be running. You don't have time to, I'm going to take a nap. You got to go, So
you have to save drinking this to the finish line.
You got to save that. Look, and I'm not. That's gotten me through a race. That got me through Cruel Jewel.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's.
Yeah. They had it at the aid. Well, maybe I'm not supposed to say that, but it was at the aid station. I was like, "Oh, I'm hurting so bad. Give me something. I need something to take this away." I was like, "I'm ready to go now. Let's go."
Well,
that helped me through Cruel Jewel.
At Rocky Raccoon at the gate aid station.
Yeah.
And I was mentioning, because we were camped out, I mentioned it to the guy who was in the campground, and his name, of course, was Cowboy. And I was talking to him, and I mentioned, oh yeah, the 1 aid station, and he went, well, no, that aid station was within the park boundaries. It shouldn't have. And I went, no, they had it just outside the gate.
It's like, maybe I wasn't supposed to say that.
No, they were super nice. People at that race were super nice, and it's like you say, totally different culture than what I come from, in Texas and stuff. Although I lived in Texas for a while, but it was like, no, they just treat everybody, you guys are crazy enough to come and do this race.
There you go. You can have this, you can have that, whatever it takes for you to finish it. That's what I love about it. I love the ultra community. I do. We're competitive, but it's more about finishing versus beating this person or beating that person. You're racing against yourself. You really are.
Well, that's like Western States. They don't call the first finishers. It's the best is the golden hour, which is
Yeah,
the last
exactly.
hour that people
Yep.
have to finish and stuff.
Mhm.
You know, and
Like I
I know.
remember one year. Remember that year? I can't remember his name, but I think he had ran like maybe 10 of them, and he's 80 now, and he finished with like maybe 3 seconds on the clock or something like that. Do you remember that year?
Was that Gordy Ainsley? Maybe.
Yeah. Yep. 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 Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gordy's in my age group.
But he's such a good runner. He's such a good runner.
He's amazing. We were at there was another race in last December, where it's basically it's him, me, and there's a really fast guy who's running under 3-hour marathon, and he's 71. And there's
A
like
3 hour. Oh my gosh.
yeah, he's super fast, and he's been at the three of us have been at various races, you know, at times and stuff. And it's like, see, that's the key. Like in your age group, they keep dropping out as you get older.
And yeah. So you're gonna be the number one person anyway. Like Ed Russo,
Yeah.
Fast Eddie. So yeah, he's doing real good. He's doing real good. Yeah.
Well, and it's,
I mean, you guys, when y'all run, I don't see how people don't get inspired by you guys. It's like you gotta get up and do something, man. Come on.
well, it is funny. I won't get into some of it, but it's kind of like when you're towards the end of a race, and I got like a young kid next to me who's doing a race, and maybe he's not that experienced, and he goes, Uncle, I feel so bad now. Oh, I hurt. Everything hurts. My knees hurt. My back hurts. And I just look at him and I go, son, this is how I feel every morning when I get up.
Every morning, get right. Look, I started the race feeling like this.
It's like, so come on, let's get to the finish line.
Exactly. That's funny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's I mean, like, Gordy is great. I don't believe in Gordy's politics, but you know, everybody's entitled to their politics.
Yeah. Everybody's entitled. Yep.
But we also have a guy here, Cowman, and Ken. Ken was actually one of the first people to finish Western States too. He used to run with a cow horn, kind of like a Norwegian.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Another guy who's been an inspiration for me, because he just, it doesn't matter if you're slow, he just keeps going. And talk about somebody who keeps going. You young lady, you are amazing. I mean, I'm going to call you again. We'll hook up again and stuff, because your story is just so interesting. I mean, and now that I know more about you, it's like, holy crap, your dad's a Baha'i. It's like,
yep.
Holy.
Hello, Pa.
So, Allah Pa, Abdul-Wahab. I mean, it's just so fun to make that connection and stuff. We try to sometimes do a virtual. We can do a virtual fist bump here, maybe somehow.
Exactly. Boom.
There you go.
Boom, there it is.
So
it was so good talking to you. It was
what
so
I'm going to do
good.
is I'm going to stop the recording, but I'm not. We're not going to disconnect, so we can still chat just a little bit before. I let you go. I can't thank you enough. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna press the button that says pause, and we'll thank you, mahalo nui loa, as we say in Hawaii, for you being here, Jahmeela.
How long have you been in Hawaii? How long have you been in Hawaii?
25 years now, close to 30 years.
Okay.
I'm what's called technically Kaimana, which is not local, but local Kaimana person and stuff. But
because you've been there long enough.
It's an honor to know you. It's an honor to live in Hawaii. Trust me. Mahalo again to Jahmeela Abdul-Rahim Mujaahid for taking the time out of her busy schedule. She did get a little bit of a break. I guess that's a pun, because she broke her thumb. So she had a few days off. but can't thank her enough. She's a great person, very special in the ultra running world, very special in the world, period. So please do support her. And if you care to support our little program here, you can always go to hawaiiultra.com and you can see the episodes there. You can like us on Facebook and on Stitcher and on iTunes if you'd like to subscribe. But in any case, I hope everybody's getting out, staying active, and certainly showing aloha.